welcome back to our channel. This is 2R's The Hard Way. I'm Rhonda.
And I'm Nicole.
And today we have a special guest,
James.
And today's topic is chivalry dead? So do men still open doors, pump gas, take out trash, do the manly thing that we typically would say is the manly thing? Mr. Pittman, what would you say?
I would say that. I mean, I open the doors. But I would say that, I mean, in the society we're in now, people tend to always want something. So I would say that before you ask for those things, what are you actually offering? So I mean, I'm not saying that men should not do those things, but I'm saying in return, what do women think that they should do? Or do they think they should do anything? A lot of women, I know they can't even boil eggs, but yet they want a guy to open the door and,
So you're saying that a woman has to do something in order to get those things?
No, what I am saying is every time you have your hand out, don't always have it empty.
But why do I have to have my hand out for you to open the door for me? If we're going into a restaurant and you're going in, as a gentleman, you're not just going to open the door?
That's a metaphor, the handout thing.
Okay.
The handout thing means that when you're, say like somebody's always asking for money, their hand is always empty.
Mm-hmm.
Sometime I want you to hand out that you could even offer something to me. Don't always look at what you can get from me. Offer me something. And I'm not saying it's a tick for tack.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is if I'm asking a woman, okay, can you, have a hot meal once a week or twice a week or 5 days a week or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not going to not do anything that I think that she likes. So it's like, okay, if you like the doors to be open, and I'll open the door. I'll open the door for a stranger.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have to be a female, it could be a guy. But if you're doing these things or asking someone to do these things, exactly what is it that you're doing? Or you're saying, well, it's not. You shouldn't ask for anything. You should just do these things. I think that in a relationship, if people were more concerned with what they were bringing and what they were offering in a relationship, then I think relationships would be much better than always trying to see what you can expect from a relationship or from the other person. What actually can you offer? What are you contributing? Are you doing the things that the person likes? Are you purposely not? But yeah, that's what I think relationships would be much better. Also, it's social media was not so influenced. People weren't influenced so much by social media and trying to impress everybody else.
So you saying if each individual person worries about them and what they're bringing to the relationship, then relationships will be better?
I mean, not all. Obviously, there is no absolute. So yeah, some relationships, no, that's not the case. But I think in a lot of relationships, it would be better if the person was more concerned with exactly what am I offering, in the relationship versus, okay, what is he offering? Or what is she offering if it's female? Or, I guess. But
So you're speaking on chivalry within a relationship, not necessarily in general. So men opening doors. So maybe what's my question? Is that, so are you saying that you're only going to open door, not, and maybe not only, but you're more apt to open up a door, pump gas, take out trash, depending on what you're also receiving on the other end?
Yes and no. I guess I did get a little off topic, but I'm saying, okay, in a relationship, a happier person is going to tend to do more. If someone is unhappy in a relationship, obviously they're generally going to do less. So if your relationship and your mate, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, is making you happy doing things that you like, then you're probably going to be more apt to say, let me do something nice for them. Versus if there's someone that just always has their hand out, never does anything for you, you're going to be less apt to do anything for that person.
I mean, I could agree with that aspect of it, but I don't feel like chivalry has anything necessarily to do with what I'm doing. I think, to me, I feel like that's kind of on the same thing as what I was brought up with my manners and my respect, as far as in like, I'm still, like you saying, I'm going to open doors and be respectful to older adults and do different things for other people. And inside my relationship, I'm naturally going to try to do those things that I'm supposed to do for my mate. But I don't feel like those things, he has to give me something for me naturally to do those things for me.
I'm not saying you have to, but I'm saying is instead of you always expecting something, what are you offering? So I'm not saying someone has, because I said, I mean, I open doors and I mean, I could do that for a stranger.
So now in this, I feel like, okay, so when you and your wife go to just hypothetically, you and your wife pull up to the gas station, are you going to naturally get out and pump the gas? Or do you feel like, hey, we play equal parts, she can get out and pump the gas?
There are some cases that I get out pumping gas. There's other cases that I haven't got out pumping gas.
Okay. And so you just don't feel like it. I mean, I'm just asking, it
Do
doesn't matter?
Do I think it's a man's job to pump the gas or take the trash out?
No.
No. Just like, is it a woman's job to cook? No, that's a question.
Oh,
I'm asking you that.
I mean, well, I mean, I guess I'm very big on communication. So it's kind of going to be how you set up the dynamics of your relationship. If when you come into the relationship, the man says, hey, I'm not a cooker.
No, that's not what I'm asking. You say it's a man's job to take the trash out, open the doors,
But
pump the gas. No, wait a minute.
That.
Pump the gas, open the doors, do these things. So my question is, do you think that a man should be cooking?
No, if okay, what I'm
No,
saying,
it should be not if.
no,
It's
no. What
not
I'm
take
saying
the
is, if in the beginning of my relationship, I established those rules. That's what I'm saying.
So you saying in beginning of a relationship, the guy taking the trash out, opening the doors. If you don't establish that, then he shouldn't do it.
No, but I'm
Okay,
saying,
see, there's my
no.
point.
What I'm saying is if he started naturally taking the trash out, and he naturally started pumping the gas or doing whatever, and as we were together, and I never had to get out and do those things, and he also, and I was always the one cooking, then those were my roles, and that's just his role, and we just naturally grew into it. But most likely in my relationship, I'm going to have a conversation about things. I'm going to say to him that I don't, I feel like a man should open the door, or I feel like he should pump the gas, or whatever. That in my specific situation, that's how I start off relationships.
I don't think you understood the question. You made the statement saying that you thought that it should be a guy. The guy should pump the gas. The guy should open the doors. The guy should do. So I'm asking you, do you think a woman should? I'm not saying as far as having a conversation. So the question to me is,
if that's
no,
going on, yes.
Not if. Do you
if
feel,
that's going on, yes.
So you feel a woman should do the cooking. So a guy shouldn't be in the kitchen.
If he doesn't want to, no.
So if a woman wants to take the trash out, he should let her then.
Okay. I mean, that's but that's going to be it's going to be an individual relationship, how their relationship works.
I hear what you're saying, but in the beginning, you were saying that the guy should take the trash out. You weren't saying based on relationship. You were saying that should be a guy thing. Or am I missing something?
No, I didn't say that. I was saying, I mean, again, it's going to be, because we had this conversation with a younger gentleman earlier in our other podcast, and that, I do agree with him. It's going to be on the roles that you play in the relationship. Would, of course, I like a man to always drive, or would I, of course, like a man to always get out and pump the gas and open the door? Of course, what woman wouldn't? But I'm just as well as capable to open the door and do all those things myself. So I'm not saying that it's his job, but if we start off in a relationship and he say, hey, babe, I'm always going to do these things, then that's what I'm going to hold him to.
And there's some guys that feel that is their job.
Absolutely.
They are to open the door because that's how they were raised. That's what they were taught. That's how, whatever. But they will never, if they're in the car with their wife or girlfriend,
absolutely,
and they're at a gas station, they will not let her pump the gas. They won't let her. I even have my my daughter-in-law, she told me, she said, she had asked me a question. She said, shouldn't the man always take out the trash? That she was raised that way. The man always takes out the trash. My dad always took out the trash. I don't think that was ever like it. That's just what he did. It wasn't like,
It was
No,
a
this is
conversation.
I don't think it was ever a conversation, or
Mhm.
he just always took
And
out
then
the
it was a
trash.
norm in that relationship with
Mhm.
your mom. Your mom actually was not going to touch the trash
Mhm.
because she knew dad was coming home and he was going to handle the trash.
Mhm.
Whether she took it out the can
Mhm.
or whatever,
Mhm.
dad still was going to do. And
And then,
that's what
but
I'm
my mom
saying.
did all of the cooking.
Right,
Yes.
right.
And that's my point, is that a lot of the women, I'm not picking on women, always say what the man should do. Like, well, the man should always take the trash out. But then a lot of those women, I never see them cook a meal, or do the things that that the man thinks that should be done. So it's like, if you are on this side saying, well, I think a man should do this, this, and this. My question is, which I presented, is, what do you think that you should be doing? What is your role? What do you think a woman, a lady, should do in a relationship?
Well, I got an example of chivalry. So I got at work, me and this guy, not romantically involved, just a coworker. We leave the building at the same time, go get I drive a city bus for a living. We go get our bus. Um, every day when we walk out, I'll just walk like normal and I'll be on the outside by the curb, by the street, automatically every day. I don't even pay it any attention. He guides me back into the inside and he gets on the outside of the street. When we crossing the street, he makes sure he's where all, and I start paying attention the other day. I'm like, he keeps moving me, and so that's a part of chivalry to me.
Mhm.
It's not necessarily me having to give him something. He's just a coworker.
Mhm.
But if something was to happen in his mind, he wants to be the one as the man to take whatever the brunt of, I guess, if a car was to come or whatever. And I don't owe this man nothing. And he's being nice. But I look at it like, okay, wow, somebody really raised him decent. And so I don't know. I feel like that is a very nice act that he does. And he doesn't
Mhm.
ask anything from me.
So
I mean,
I was going to say, so in that sense, then to me, chivalry is not necessarily dead. It's not necessarily dead. It still exists.
It
And it
does.
probably exists more for the older people. Is he an older?
No, he's
And
younger
not
than me.
really.
Yes.
Now
He's
that's
younger than me.
interesting.
And he's I think he's engaged. And so but I just know, and it's weird because it was just because we pick our work every 4 months, and ever since we walk out every day. And then like we'll be get ready to leave, and he'll be like, you didn't remind me it's time to go. And I'm like, yeah. So we'll walk downstairs together and then go out, and it's nothing but coworkers. And I just was like, wow, I just really noticed that. And I was like,
Mhm.
okay, that's cool.
I mean, I do the same thing. So,
Okay.
like I said, I mean, it's like I said, I'll open the door for a total stranger. So it's not like I'm saying that I only do that for romantically involved, or if I'm romantically involved with somebody. But I'm saying is, now where we're talking about a relationship where someone is saying that you should do certain things, then my question is, what is that? What is it that you're going to offer in a relationship? And I'm not saying in return. I'm just saying period.
So then
Because
I
in a
think
lot of
you're talking
relationships,
about roles versus
yes,
general
Then
chivalry.
there's
so we're
then just
talking. Yeah, now we're talking about chivalry, just open the door for a stranger. But I mean, obviously, I'm not taking a stranger's trash out. We were talking about earlier, so it figured kind of brought me back to that. We're talking about a relationship here, because I generally don't go up and down the street taking trash out for strangers or neighbors either, for that matter. So,
So then so but in roles, we definitely feel it. So you're definitely saying we feel like we have those roles and relationships, and you have to equally be given back and forth.
well, there's never equal, because you'll do things that your mate won't pay attention. They won't even know you did them. And the
Mhm.
same vice versa.
Mhm.
So you're always feeling like, well, not always, because some people don't get anything, but in general, you feel like you're giving more than the other person's giving.
But so okay, in those aspects, because I'm very big on communication, do you feel like conversations or therapy in those, because no one wants to feel like if you're giving more or giving less, to get to a happy place in a relationship, you should both be happy and both feel like you're equally pouring into this situation.
Mhm.
So if you feel like, hey, I'm constantly doing and I'm not feeling like, or not necessarily constantly, but if I'm constantly doing, then hey, and I've tried to talk to my partner and she's not listening or he's not listening. How do you feel like you solve those situations then? Counseling, or what would you do?
I don't know. I mean, counseling probably work. Me in my eyes, I'm more just. It makes sense to me that if I say something, and I mean, it's clear to me, and it seems clear to the other person and they choose not to do it, then in my eyes, it's just not that important to them.
But
You
what if
know.
it's important to you?
To who?
To you. And
Then I just time you make a decision
Hmm.
because it's
It's
like,
that cut and dry.
well, I mean, obviously, eventually, I mean, you can put some time because I mean, obviously, you generally don't want to just, yeah, right. Well, oh, look, that's it. Pack my gear.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you can't give it some time, but eventually, if that person doesn't do those things, it's obvious that maybe they're just not into you, just like the movie. They're not just she's just not that into you, or he's not just into you. Not that
It
she's
could not
into you.
necessarily be that, but maybe I feel like sometimes we all got our own mental stuff we going through. And we got and it may not be necessary that I'm not that into you at this moment because I have my own demons or my own depression that maybe I don't feel comfortable enough to share with you, or my own insecurities that I've shared with you and I kind of feel like maybe you haven't listened, just saying, just throwing it out there.
Mhm.
Then I feel like I got to battle it by myself. So I don't necessarily am not, I think that what you want me to do is important, but I got all this going on. So it's not that I don't feel like I want to do this for my partner, but I don't know how to present it to you in a way where maybe you'll understand and be open to listen to me. And I really feel like communication, we do not listen to our partners. We don't. We just we sit down and we talk, and we really don't even talk because after you be together for so long, you really don't hear each other. You just kind of just be like in a zone, in your own little world.
We don't know bubble. Mm-hmm.
In some cases.
And when we do that, we lose, for me, especially for us getting older, we lose because we're not going to be sexual forever. Of course, we would love to be, but we're not. Some things is going to stop eventually. And you have to have that connection with your partner. When you don't have that physical connection, then you have to be where you still happy to wake up with that person every day. That,
Yeah.
at least for me, that's what I want.
I mean, I understand that part, but that's like saying eventually I might be on a walker or I could be in a wheelchair, but I walk now, so so I'll worry about that when I get there.
But then you can't, at that point, you done been with this person 20, 30 years and the communication has been trash. Now you want this person to communicate with you because now you're on a walker.
No, I'm not saying no. You were saying that with the sex thing, and
Right.
but I'm saying that was a metaphor.
I know that.
Maybe I should have said.
No, I know that, but I'm just like.
But the metaphor, obviously, is okay. We're not there now, so we need to be here in the now. And yeah, as you get older, then things transition. Just like
So then fix the communication and stuff now.
Well, but see, first off, when you say fix the communication, I mean, is it a lack of communication when someone just doesn't do what you ask? That is not lack of communication. That's just because they don't want to do it or they don't feel like doing it. They don't think it's important. That's not a lack of communication. You've communicated what you want. They just haven't decided to do it. So that's not lack of communication.
But if you do communicate, if you do open up the communication, now we're completely way off our topic.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do communicate, because like you said, it could be maybe there's something else going on with that person. Maybe there's a mental breakdown within them. And then for you as the partner, do you care enough about your partner to find out, is there something going on with you? Because
are you in tune with me?
Because this issue keeps coming up and I keep saying, I've told you 35,000 times
right.
and it hasn't changed. So is there something going on with
you? Or
you?
you just blatantly don't want to do it.
So do you have that conversation, or do you do like you say and just, I gotta make a decision?
Right.
No, you had a conversation. You open up, you listen. Is there a problem? Other than that, you can't
pull it out.
You can't pull teeth.
Yeah.
Well, I guess could pull teeth, but it would be a little painful. But you have to, it just,
help him, Jesus.
You just have to, all you can do is ask questions and listen. And if there's nothing that comes out that actually makes any sense, then you have to feel that either Kind of
But
pour
see,
to them,
then
or
say that makes
don't wanna do
sense. It's this is makes sense to you, but see, but for you, you may say it doesn't make sense to me,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
but then to your partner,
It makes sense.
it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't. So then maybe that's where a counselor could come in
And
be
that's
like,
what I'm saying.
like, okay, so you're not understanding what him or her they're saying, and you're not understanding what they're needing. So how do you guys fix that together? I guess I don't know.
I mean, if they were saying they were needing something, and I would listen to that, then of course, obviously, then I would, okay, what do you need? But if that's not doesn't come up, I mean, if they can tell a counselor that versus me, then I don't that part there.
So the difference with counseling is, I will say this, it is a third party person in the middle. And typically you normally don't go tit for tat. You try not to go tit for tat in the counseling session. And you also try to, you're not arguing or yelling back and forth or getting to that point where being mean to each other, saying
Getting in your feelings,
yes,
because
absolutely.
you're just
Because
talking.
you're just talking, you're
It's
trying
just
to
talking.
get it out there and not necessarily like belittling or saying stuff. You're trying to get that other person to understand where you're coming from.
Mhm.
Normally,
I can obviously see your relationships and my relationships are different because I don't do the hollering, I don't do the yelling, I don't name call, don't call me out of my name, I won't call you out of your name. So
Mhm.
I don't talk about your family members. None of
Well,
that
I'm
stuff.
saying in
Yeah,
general.
in general,
I'm
yeah.
saying
but
in
I'm saying
general.
So that's not how I end up anyway. I don't do that. So we generally don't get into the hollering and screaming and stuff like that. But I mean, everybody's different. Obviously.
Yeah,
Everybody handles.
even if
things
you get to the
differently.
ignoring or not speaking to each other,
Now, I will do that.
but that's still just the same. And you ain't necessarily, you ain't got to
You can't take back the bad thing.
No, yeah, you can't take back. But what I'm saying is, but then if I'm used to you, now it's tension, and now I'm feeling a certain like that because I went through in my marriage, I did go through the ignoring thing, and my husband would ignore me for sometimes a month.
Mhm.
So what'd you do?
That's why we not married.
I'm saying, what did you do? Why was he ignoring you?
I didn't do nothing. That was when he was cheating.
So he would cheat and ignore you for a month. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I mean, not necessarily. He was younger than me, so I'm gonna say that he was younger than me. But he also, no, we just went through. I don't know. I think maybe he was just going through some growing
There's
pains.
another reason. That just doesn't make sense.
I don't know what it.
You
I have no idea. I have no idea, honestly.
I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah, I really don't.
I wasn't there, so I don't know.
I wasn't explained the reason either, so I don't know. I think he's grown and matured a lot now, but back when we were married, things were totally different. So I don't know. I just know for me, I didn't like the ignoring stage.
Mhm.
I'd rather just tell me what I did so I could figure it out. If I want to fix it, whatever case, just let me know. So that was
what
just
if you already know in his ignoring? So you know what you did, so he's ignoring.
Then that's a problem for me. So I mean, I get that.
It's like so it's not like you're clueless.
So if I know, but then my thing is, if I fix it, then is it going to be, oh, you only fixed it because I was ignoring you?
What you asking me what I was?
No, I'm saying
I mean, I would be fine with that. Just maybe not continue to do the same thing.
Yeah, I get that.
Keep doing the same thing. Then
it's
obviously
ridiculous.
You don't really care.
Right. Absolutely. I agree with that.
So it is what it is.
I agree with that point. We have totally went completely off topic.
way off.
But it's different hearing a man's perspective on things. So I just am curious about a lot of things about relationships and communication, and because I may think something totally different, but then you get a man's point of view, it's totally opposite of how we think.
What to say? Men are from Venus, women are from Mars, or one or the other, flip it around or something.
And things that are important, like Marky was saying earlier, we're super emotional as women, and y'all really are not. And in general,
I met some emotional guys.
And so, and I don't really have a problem with emotional guys. I like, not necessarily I want you to be soft.
Cry baby.
No, but I want you to be in tune with your emotions so you can understand a little bit where I'm coming from when I'm explaining to you certain things. Mm-hmm. Not that I want you to be a crybaby, but if I say, this is how I feel, can you relate? Then I want, That's what I'm talking about. I know I still want a manly man, very much so.
I
Thanks.
didn't say a word. I mean, I get
I
it.
know.
And so I'm gonna bring it back to the chivalry thing, and I'm gonna just speak on what I know even about my kids. So do I? So even like for me, for them helping even me,
Mm-hmm.
my youngest will help if I ask.
Mm-hmm.
My oldest will help if I ask.
That middle one
But my middle son,
is the ball.
I don't really have to ask. He will just do.
Mm-hmm.
So none of them will not do. But my oldest and my youngest, I need to, I need to
Initiate
say,
it. Mm-hmm.
hey, can you
Mm-hmm.
help grab that, or can
Mm-hmm.
you pick that up? And then my middle son, Mom, do you need? Mom,
Mm-hmm.
is there any more?
Mm-hmm.
What else do you need me to do?
Mm-hmm.
So for him, I would say for him, chivalry's not dead. I think that he will pump the gas. If he is riding with me, he will get out the car. He won't even ask me for, like, he won't, Mom, do you want me to? He will get out the car.
Mm-hmm.
He will take out the trash. I don't have to ask. So I don't know. And they were all raised together. So it's so weird that they're so different
Mm-hmm.
because they were raised together.
Mm-hmm.
And one grabbed it and the other two, and they're not, and I'm, mother, they're not bad people. That's just not them. That's not their nature. So I think chivalry's not necessarily dead. I think it's not as common as it was. Like my dad, even if I were to go and move in with my dad right now and it's snow, my dad would go outside and clean off my car.
Yeah.
He just would.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what he would do. And he's 78 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what he would do. So I'm not going to say it's dead. It's just
we're
not
probably
as
losing
common.
it, like we're losing a little bit of the respect and manners.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if you still instill it in your child or still instill it in the youth, then it will still stay alive.
Mm-hmm.
But just like the respect and manners, if we don't, then it will fade away.
Mm-hmm.
For respected ones.
We were asking on one of our last podcasts, we asked about if kids have respect and manners nowadays, and
And has it gone away?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think chivalry's up there with that. It's just not as common, and then is it because the boys do not see, because they constantly say the men aren't in their lives. So or is it because they don't see that?
Mm.
And that's why it's not as common, because they don't have the man in their life, the father in their life.
Well, you could probably speak a little bit on that aspect, though.
But I just, like I said, I raised mine by myself.
Right.
So one picked it up, and I don't know where he got it from. I think it's just his nature.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like that. The other two did not see that.
But they also saw it in Grandpa, though. They saw it in Pops.
Yeah, but then you would have thought my oldest would have picked that up.
Mm-hmm.
But no.
Mm. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. It's interesting when you sit and think about it, like, wow. But
I'm sorry. I'm gonna rotate back again. Because I'm not saying that it shouldn't. I'm not, silver is fine. I mean, like I said, I'll do 90% of what women consider chivalrous. But I think it is important that you rarely ever see accountability for women. I know I'm gonna get flack for this, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You see post after post, men this, men that, men are dogs, men are this, men cheat, women cheat, women are dogs, women do all of the same things.
Mm-hmm.
But you rarely ever see anybody talking about being ladylike or doing the things that a woman should do. What should a woman do? like for a man, what should she be doing? What are her roles? You never see that. I don't know that I've ever, well, I might have seen one or two, but it's rare to see that. And it's like, where is the accountability? It's always man, beating men down. Why aren't they doing this? Why shouldn't they do that?
And that might come from like even one of our old episodes where we're saying the man is supposed to be the head. He's supposed to be the leader. He's supposed to be the example seek setter. So maybe that's where that comes from. I don't know.
I think some of it comes from this internet. And I mean, not to keep bashing the internet, but I think a lot of it is you see so much more now. And like Marky had said that, women are trying to be in this hot girl thing or whatever. I don't know. So I feel like we have changed in the culture. And I do agree with James. You do see a lot of male bashing, but for women, I think it's just a lot of us being single and it's not necessarily in the male bashing thing. I think just a lot of women have gotten hurt, and I feel like the men don't really speak up maybe as much as the women do, and so that's probably why you see so much of the man bashing. But I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I just don't see it like James is saying it, but I see it in some aspects, but not all the way, because I do see women. I follow a lot of people that women are still doing the ladylike things. I follow women that are still showing you how to be good to your man or how to do things for your man. I have girl conversations on with a couple of my girlfriends on, and I'm the single one on. This is what you should be doing with your husbands, or this is how, even if they don't agree, I'm like, no, I'm that friend, like, no, this is what you need to be doing. And they be mad at me, but no, this is what you need to be doing. So I feel like that's still alive. I just don't think that men see it as much as it's still out there, though. But there is
Nobody
women,
sees it that much.
because we do uplift each other.
Mhm.
I mean, if you have a good circle, you
Mhm.
uplift each other.
Yeah.
And if you're wrong in your situation, just like me and her or my other best friend, if we feel each other are wrong, then we'll let each other know, hey, no, that's not cool. You shouldn't be doing, or I do agree with him or whatever. And they get mad. We get mad at each other a little bit, but I'm like, no, that's what you should be doing.
All righty, here we are. We're buttoning everything up. We talked about chivalry. I got a little bashing from both sides here. It is what it is. I can take it.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, I threw in a little bit about, exactly what do women do? What do women think their role is? What do they expect to do in a relationship? Not just what you expect from a relationship. With that said, hopefully something was said that will motivate someone or help in your relationship or help you get into a relationship. With that said, I guess
Yeah, so we just let us know in the comments below. Do you believe chivalry is dead, or do you maybe it's just an age group? Is it the age group that's different? Is it where it's dead at, or and if you think it's dead, where do you think it died? When do you think it died?
And as James was saying, in a relationship, to have chivalry, do you think that you have to give back and forth? Should it be, I just automatically do it, or should both parties have to put in for, she cook, you take the trash out, those type of things. So again, like, comment, and subscribe, and
Until next time.
peace.